hanging on my watch, my thoughts are overrun. To think that you have left me, to think that we are done. I'll go, and you'll never save me. Fine.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 1 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me today are my co-hosts Chocolate Bear
How you doing?
and Doc H1X1.
What's up?
Alright, so before we get into this week's show, I figured we could take a minute to go over just what exactly Cross Atlantic Gaming is and what you can expect week in and week out from our show. So you guys want to help me out with that? We're primarily news focused, I would say,
Yeah.
as a big bullet point.
Yeah. It's going to probably be the bulk of the podcast. And, we'll, as we go along, we'll probably, kind of maybe add some stuff, kind of see where it goes. But that'll probably be from the initial go, the bulk.
Yeah, we're going to try not to have a long-running podcast. Not long-running. That made it sound like we're going to end short.
Yeah, now I'm going to get a ton more hate from Discord. Great.
We're aiming for 4 episodes, surely, guys.
I was hoping for 5, but
okay.
four's not too bad.
Let's be optimistic, but don't get crazy.
So yeah, us paired with the 16-ounce gaming podcast, we're going to be just more of a news focused compared to them, where there's weird dating games and other things like that.
Looking at you, Surf.
We actually did have a question come in from Ross, though. He wanted to know where we came up with Cross Atlantic Gaming, or how we came up with it. Yeah, go for it, Doc.
Or well, no, I was about to say, I don't know if you want to handle this or Chocolate. I think, well...
You passing the mic over, Doc?
Well, now that you mention it, no, yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, God, you put me on the spot. How did we come across... It was, I think, primarily because you guys are over in the States, myself over here in the UK. Obviously, the Atlantic is in between us. And
I was going to say, really, this should be the most self-explanatory title to a podcast ever.
I didn't want to sound mean to Raz.
Our voices.
Slightly different.
Clearly, somebody's not from here. Yeah. And by here, I mean the States.
I want to be like, Raz has always been nice to me. How much of a douchebag do I want to be right here about this title?
But yeah, so I mean, it just worked out because Chocolate's from across the Atlantic, and that's that.
Yeah, it kind of
occasionally we play games.
Yeah, it works. That's probably the best way to explain it. It works as far as short summation of who we are and where we are.
Yeah. So next, I thought maybe we could introduce ourselves a little bit. Maybe tell us what kind of gamer you are, what kind of, like, in your personal life, like, who are you? So we'll start with you, Doc.
So my name is JT, and I am from the United States. I live in Kentucky in a small town called Somerset. Married to my wife, Cassie. Currently no kids, although Chocolate's really starting to win me over on the idea of kids, clearly. And
that's
I work
some
as
horseshit.
yeah.
There we go.
It's great, right? Chocolate, everything's great. It's perfect.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
It's fantastic. I'll send them over at some point so I can be child free.
Please take them.
Yeah.
And lastly, I work as a pharmacist full time, and video games. That probably sums it up mostly.
And how about you, Chocolate?
For myself, my name's Daniel. As we've said, I'm from the UK. I'm in a small village called Oakham, which is near Leicester, if anyone knows that. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and as we alluded to, I've got 2 small children. One called Joseph, and the other one is called Isabella.
And they're both blessings.
And they're both blessings in disguise, apart from when they do things to me that make me want to strangle them.
Is that shit on your shirt right there, Chocolate?
Yeah, and a little bit of pungent puke I think I've got just behind my ear. Lovely.
Okay, just checking.
And my name's Zach. I'm from Syracuse, New York, over in the States. No kids, girlfriend, no marriage, and yeah, games. That's what we're here for, right?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want some kids? I can send to over.
No, I'm watching my nephew this weekend, and it's been I don't know, like that. He's 3 years old, and he's shown me enough in 48 hours about what having a child is like that I think I will be passing on that phase of my life for just forever,
Quite some time.
indefinitely. Yeah, I don't know, not for me. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah. What have you guys been playing this week? Or just lately in general? It being
Doc.
our first episode, what's going on? What are you guys playing?
Go, Doc. Let us know.
yeah, I mostly been trying to get into a little, actually Gears 4 Horde mode. Been playing that a lot recently. I way back in the day, I played a lot of it on Gears 2 and 3 when it was first introduced back in the day, and when Gears 4 came out, I kind of blitzed through the campaign and didn't really touch it after that. And then we got some community members together this past week and played Horde mode on the highest difficulty. Clearly, no, we couldn't even get past casual. We played it on casual a few times and finally got to wave 50 and beat it. That's really fun, actually. I totally forgot how fun that game mode is on Gears of War.
You said wave 50?
Yeah, well, again, on casual. There's like, I think there's like a crazy amount of difficulties in that game. We played on normal and got to 20, and it felt like brutally hard, which is embarrassing to say. Like, yeah, I'm a video gamer.
Yeah. So how long did that take? It getting all the way up to level 50. I feel like it seems like it would take forever. I'm thinking of like Call of Duty Zombies. Like level 50
Right.
would have taken me like 4 hours, 5 hours. How long was that?
Honestly, I probably about 3 hours, actually. No joke. Like,
Okay.
I mean, it was to the point where Raz was hanging in there as long as he could, or it might have been Castle or Raz. I can't remember. But
I think
like,
it was Raz, yeah.
yeah, and he was hanging in as long as he could, and he got up to round 49, and he's just like, guys, I actually have to go. Like, it was going on so long. So
One more level. And he couldn't
yeah, I
make it,
know.
huh?
Yeah. Well, that's where Moose basically said, and he gave up and surrendered on us, and I'm just like, whoa, let's calm down.
Is there any type of like progression in that horde mode? Like, are you gaining like credits or something to put towards like your next run to like buy weapons and that kind of stuff? Or
Yeah, so that's kind of the reason I'm kicking myself that I didn't get into it initially, because I didn't realize it's as deep as it is. So there's actually a ton of that, actually. It's got its own levels. There's like 5 different classes, and they each have their own like I guess abilities or like strengths, weaknesses. You can level them up individually. You have, I don't know if you guys ever saw that, it's like a card-based system in Gears, and different skills are on different cards, and you can level those up. It's insanely deep. I had no idea. I feel kind of bad for, like I said, just ignoring it from when it was first released, but I'm having a blast with it now. And yeah, highly recommend it to anybody out there looking for a good co-op experience.
Those
That's awesome.
boss levels are mad, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That first one's okay. It's a slow burner. You can get through it, but once you get to the next few,
Right.
you're pulling your hair out.
so is there a boss every like 10 levels or 5 levels or something like that?
Every 10, yeah. There's
Every
a,
10?
a,
Okay.
a boss wave every 10, and it's random on the boss. And they're in my opinion, there are clearly ones that are harder than others.
So you can kind of get excited if you see it's one
Kinda.
guy on your 40th level,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right,
Exactly.
cool. This isn't
You're
terrible.
almost just like, oh, I hear a helicopter. We've got this many turns. This will be cake. Or it's like, oh no, it's the guy that eats you or whatever. This is going to be crap because he just walks through your defenses. So it's it's definitely that feeling of like, okay, we're good, or this might be the end of it. So
Right.
it's
So
fun though.
Would you say this is probably one of the best horde mode type of games then?
Yeah, easily. Even if I'm trying to think right now, it's off the top of my head, if I had to like rank, I know like Destiny 2 or Destiny 1 had its version, and Halo 5's got its version, but as far as just off the top of my head, I think as far as how deep it is, the progression system, which I didn't even know existed, it's awesome. Yeah.
Is that really all you've been playing? Did you fall off Sea of Thieves? You waiting for the hunt? I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
even bringing this up. This is probably a mistake.
Now you really
That is
risky. Now that you no.
And this is the Sea of Thieves podcast.
All right, buckle in for the next 2 hours now. So what basically the way I looked at it was from the get go, like I do love that game, but I'm not an idiot when it comes to like, yeah, there's not a ton of progression here. and I'm not a crazy person, so I'm not going to grind it out to 50 like other people did. So my goal was to basically get all three factions up to level 30, and then just wait for the first DLC. And I pretty much did that a couple weeks ago, and now I'm sort of just waiting. Which they actually released a few more screenshots yesterday, and it looks like it's a big freaking megalodon, great white shark, and it actually looks pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
A new big bad fish swimming around the sea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do they have a date on that? I know they said May. We're getting close to the end of May. 29th?
Yeah, 29th, I believe.
Yeah.
They're kind of getting in the habit of, like, when they tease a video or DLC or anything, they're kind of being jerks about leaving it to the last day of whatever week or month they announce it, which, whatever, but it's kind of like, we said May. Yeah, it's technically May.
May
29th,
31st.
Okay.
It'll be
Yeah.
there.
At 11:59?
11:59. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was
like,
going to say, do you think that's what they're doing, or because of all the issues that have been coming up every time a patch has come out, it's actually trying to go, oh, we need to fix all these little bugs before we implement our big DLC, otherwise we're going to kill the game, or break the game, I should say.
I will say that I think just putting a month on it and not really, if you're not positive you're going to be able to hit the beginning of May, just saying May and then, hey, we have 4 weeks worth of leeway to actually get this thing out and make sure it's running 100%. I don't think that's a bad call.
No,
but
see, I
yeah.
think that's what they've done, not, oh, we're just going to tease you and tease you. I think they've run into so many problems. I love the game. I'm not trying to hate on it at all.
Oh, I think we'd all agree that it had issues, though, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. Every time they fix something, all of a sudden, another part of the game breaks. And I
Yeah.
think that's the issue,
Yeah.
not we're going to tease you and get you ready for it and then go, oh, right at the end of the month.
Well, that was the most recent thing, wasn't it? You were supposed to be able to, like, hand things off to your crewmates, but if you did it underwater, it would, like, shut down the servers sometimes.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think you're both right in the sense that, like, I think part of it is it gives them wiggle room on if stuff does and will go wrong. And then I think the other part is, like you said, Chocolate, I think literally there was just a lot of stuff they had to get in order, some housekeeping stuff first and foremost, and then worry about, the actual adding new content.
Yeah.
But they did recently put back in all the stuff they had the week before that had, momentarily broke. So now you can do private crews and hand people stuff. And I guess when you're underwater now, your name is invisible, so you can actually somewhat be stealthy, and you don't see a guy swimming to your boat from a mile away and give him,
Do you know, I wondered why I kept getting shot every time I went up a ladder.
the more you know. Yeah, so I mean, it looks like that's in there, and that's stuff that, like, they are, is people, you say what you want to about a games as a service system, but it will constantly evolve and make the game better. And theoretically, as long as the game supports free DLC, it's getting more and more content. So, I'm excited to see what that new DLC is on the 29th, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, so that was 3 minutes of Sea of Thieves. That's plenty. Moving on. Chocolate, what have you been playing lately?
I have. I've just started a 16-ounce pro club on FIFA. So myself and a couple of the guys in the community, we've been grinding through the divisions at the moment.
Yeah,
playing...
I saw Ryan and Sweeney talking about it, I think.
Yeah.
A couple of those guys. That's cool.
So, it's quite amusing when you've got... I think we had 4 of us in one of the matches, and you've got obviously 4 different play styles. And then we're all just laying into Ryan.
Yeah.
How does that work out when you have... So it's the 4 of you are on the same team, and you're playing... It's just... So do you have, like, 2 strikers and 2 defenders, or can you still, like, swap around and be whoever you want with left bumper, I think is what it is.
Yeah, so
like,
with
swap players.
There's 2 ways of doing it. You can either have you are one player and that's it. So we all take a player each in a position we want, or you can have, which we do, 3 of us pick a position. That's where our player plays, and then I'm gonna hate saying this. The better player controls the rest of the team.
Who's the better player?
Sweeney. But anyway, moving,
that was quick.
Moving on. Yeah, he takes hold of the defence, a few of the midfielders, and then we pick a couple of positions ourselves. And yeah, it's been really good. It is a good laugh. So when the next year's iteration comes out, we'll be trying to push for Division 1 for 16 ounce.
Awesome. That's fun.
I do got a couple quick questions for you, Chocolate.
Go
What
on.
is your current all-time record against Ryan? And
This is important.
two, yeah, that is important. And two,
It's important for him, not for me.
Uh-oh.
well, that and the other point is like EA come out recently and said that they're not going to stop with loot boxes when it comes to the sports games. I've never gotten into any of them in a big way. Like how much of a thing is that in FIFA as far as like the
Oh, right.
yeah
Let's address the Ryan one first. I think he's winning at the moment.
Oh.
So he beat me the last time. So we'll move on from there. And loot boxes and FIFA and money. You can sink so much money into that game. It is ridiculous.
huh.
So
Because that's all the card packs are all for the ultimate team, right? You're
yeah,
just
so it's all for
slowly
the
working
ultimate.
on that.
Yeah, so you'll pick it. You go to build your side. You start off with 11 players that you have never heard of or wish you never picked. And the only way to upgrade quickly is to sink money in.
Gotcha.
So anyone trying to play that game free to play will never be like super competitive. Then I'm assuming.
No, I mean there are pros, and they don't. From what I can see on some of the YouTube stuff, they don't actually sink their money into it. They just grind. They keep playing. They're good at the game.
Playing 14 hours a day.
Yeah, so
They've got the time. Yeah.
hence I said, if you want to do it quickly,
Then
the
you're going to
quickest
spend
way
money.
to get your team, the quickest way to do it is to sink money in. And I was one of those fools. I think this year I haven't sunk as much money as I normally would do, which I'm happy about.
Ryan won a giveaway at one point for it was like $60 credit to Xbox, and then he streamed.
Okay.
He streamed him
Him opening
blowing
the
the
pack.
$60 in
Oh my
packs in
God.
like the span of like 3 minutes, and he's like,
Oh,
"Well,
yeah.
Did.
those were all shit," and I was like, "Oh, okay, well."
Yeah,
Well, that was worth it.
it is like playing like a slot machine. It's
I mean,
you press
yeah.
that button, you wait for a certain flash. If you don't get that flash, who gives a shit? You move on to the next one.
Loot boxes are gambling, right?
They are indeed.
yeah. I kind of just wondered how that was set up because I hear so much about it, but never actually took a look at it.
I've got some coins in my on my team. Well, these are legitimate coins I earned. So I'll try and stream it and then pop it on the YouTube channel so you can have a look.
There you go. We can watch all your coins go away, and your team not get any better. And
Yeah, and all in the space of 30 seconds.
perfect.
Perfect.
And I've also been playing Halo Wars 2, and I'm stuck on the third level from the end, and I can't do it when you steal a scarab.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm
What-
done.
What
That's it.
difficulty
I
are you
can't
playing
do it.
on?
Easy.
Is there a lower one?
Yeah, is there a get me through this part? Yeah, I cannot do it.
Just
cannot
show
see-
me the story mode.
Yeah, I was just about to say risky. I was like, how much do you guys love it when the game almost patronizes you and says you're more into the story than the actual
Well, that's-
gameplay?
That's what Naughty Dog does with like The Last of Us and Uncharted.
Yeah.
It's like, just take me through the story.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I'm
you
not a
can
big
one
off-
shot everything. It's great.
I want to occasionally have to press a button, but not too much.
I'm not a big RTS lover on the console, so
I
thought
can't fault you there. Yeah.
I'll do it quickly, hammer it through, and so I've come stuck. So
It's gonna be 5 Game Pass games later, and Chocolate's like, "Hey guys, still on the third to last level. Hey,
anyone want to help me on this one?
Need some help."
Chocolate, we've been on Gears of War for weeks. That's one thing I'll plug quick is that the 16-ounce guys, they run a Game Pass game club. They pick a month or a game to go through during the month with the community, and everybody plays up to a certain spot, and then you send in questions. They have a discussion about it, and I think Halo Wars 2 just wrapped up, if I'm not
Yep.
right. And this month's is going to be Gears of War. So if you guys want to get in on that, we do have a link to the 16-ounce Discord in our show notes. So join us over there. I'll be definitely playing Gears of War. I've never went through any of those campaigns all the way. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so
Shocking.
this will be a first. It sucks because I've had a bunch of stuff spoiled.
Right.
Oh,
But
ouch.
like the whole Dom and his family thing, like that stuff.
Oh, right.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Moving on.
He ends up being the main protagonist at the very end and saves the day. So.
Okay, perfect. I don't even need to play now, so
No, not really.
thanks.
Welcome.
As
But
far
it's a good way to get through your backlog, isn't it? Or to play games that you would never touch.
I think it's definitely it's fun, and this will be the first one that I'm actually like. I tried Halo Wars 2 back in the day, and like you alluded to, RTS on console is rough, and I'm not even sure that I really like RTSs on a computer. Anyways, it's not really my game type.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was BioShock, and I've played through BioShock a couple times now, and the last time was like a year ago. So,
Right.
I'll definitely be joining in on this one.
Yeah.
And everyone else should too. As far as what I've been playing, I'm in the middle of God of War. I finally just got my copy sent to me from a buddy who bought it. So I want to say maybe a third or halfway through that game at this point, and that game it's something. I want to say masterpiece, but I feel like I should finish the game first before I go making bold claims like that.
It is great. I did recently beat it. I loved it. It was really good. I don't know if, I thought Doom was another good reboot, but man, did they do a great reboot with this too, as far as like what you thought of as a God of War game versus what this is. Like it's great.
That's like I dabbled in 1 through 3 at different points, but like this is something just completely different, and I really haven't been able to pick anything out that's like wrong with the game. Like the combat's great, the story is amazing. It's one of the best looking games on console by far. I don't know.
Super polished. If I had to make one nitpick, not descriptive at all, I think the end gets a little it goes on a little too long, as far as like I think they could have wrapped it up in a much neater, nicer way. I think the ending is still great, but I think the last probably 6-7 hours getting to that point might have hit a few too many story beats or lasted a little too long. But that's me literally nitpicking though at some point, I mean, trying to find something wrong. Otherwise I think it's freaking phenomenal.
About how long did your playthrough take?
Oh gosh, I'd have to look. I honestly don't even know.
Okay, I mean that's fine.
It's a pretty lengthy game. I mean, it's especially with I'm actually trying to go through and find most of the hidden. I will say this: when I went through the game, I did most, if not all, the main side quests. So depending on how much you pay attention to those or any of the actual additional side stuff, it probably varies by quite a few hours. But
I haven't done a ton of the side stuff, but would you say most of those are worth doing, like story wise?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of people out there saying that they're really deep side quests. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're deep or anything, but I think they're well placed. I think they're well done, and they don't feel fetch questy or anything like that at all, in my opinion. So I mean, I think they're worth doing it. I think you'll be fine either way as far as equipment going through the game. I don't feel like they're necessary. Obviously, it's side quests are not necessary, but I think a lot of them are absolutely worth doing though. Yeah,
okay.
And they're not that far out of the way either. Most of the time,
I'm playing on easy either way, so it's not. I'm never really worried about equipment. I'm more just there for the story on this one. So, and I'm not being let down yet, and I don't foresee that happening. So,
great game.
Yeah, that's my main thing, and then PUBG. I'm always dabbling in PUBG a little here and there. But that's old news.
Miramar's out soon.
Do we have a date for that? Was the 26th?
26th, Friday, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll be definitely getting back into that for that.
Yeah, that should be good. The test server was fun. Playing that, it's definitely completely different from the first map that we're playing right now. Yeah. No cover, lots of wide open spaces.
I'm going to ask you guys, do you think it'll get the same hate that it did on PC? Because I know for a good stretch there that people were really kind of down on that map specifically.
Were they down on it because the way it was laid out, or were there like bugs or something?
I think their biggest issue was it was probably because compared to the island map where you had a lot of cover stuff, there was a lot of stretches of nothing in between, and I guess it came down to the fact that you could get in an area and you were just SOL as far as I guess where you were compared to loot and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like the first island could be that as well. I'm not really sure why they had such an issue with it. I just know that was a thing for a while.
Right.
I wonder if it's because of change, and we know what we're like as humans. We don't like change, do we?
That's true. Like, even just playing the few rounds of Miramar when the test servers were up, it was kind of like, I have no idea where I should go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know where the good loot spots are, where people
Yeah.
could possibly be. But like with the first map, you've played enough that you know where to drop. You know, like the layout of the whole island after you've played long enough. I think once people get used to how it's laid out and have played it enough, maybe they'll like it. But if you're just not a fan of big, wide open spaces and getting sniped, you might just not like this one.
Variety's probably good either way, though. I mean,
So,
for a
you
game
need
like that.
You need a rotation of maps on a game like that because it gets very stale.
The only
For
thing-
me, it got stale a bit quick.
What I would like them to do is just give you the option to be able to either click into the first map or click into Miramar. Like, don't make it random, because sometimes if you get stuck on like a stretch of playing the same map over and over, I mean that's true with all multiplayer games. That's why like the voting system's always been good, and like Call of Duty games,
Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
great idea. But
Well,
there's only two
Battlefield,
maps.
you get the
so-
choice,
Oh yeah, Battlefield
don't
as well.
you?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Well,
Once you get into a game, obviously. Not.
I think they did add a voting system on the PC version to where you can, well, not vote, but you can pick which one you're going to get put in a hopper for.
So that's
So-
smart. I think that's definitely
Yeah.
something they should implement on the
Yeah.
Xbox for sure.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably definitely coming. And then it seems like a lot of people like that new map too. So excited for when that eventually finds its way to the Xbox.
The newest, the like small
And
map,
that
smaller
small
map.
map, yeah, small island map, I guess you would say. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton on that, but yeah, I mean more options is always good, right? So
definitely.
Get sniped or get shotgunned.
exactly one or the other.
Chocolate. That's the I get shotgun map. That's the I get sniped map.
Yeah. Well, I'm normally the meat shield anyway, so
There you go.
if you need cover, just give me a call. I'm in.
All right. You guys have anything else that you'd want to add for what you've been playing or anything like that?
Looking forward to playing State of Decay 2. That's for sure. I think I've been on record saying State of Decay 1 was my favorite game of last gen. So
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped for
forward
that.
to it.
That'll be out by the time this podcast is out. So
Yep.
you could be listening to this while you play State of Decay 2. And that's how we suggest you do it.
Yep. I
guess.
was super disciplined this time and waited for Game Pass because I'm on a gaming budget. So I'm just like, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to wait.
I was so
And,
close to buying that expensive version so I could play on Friday.
I had the screen pulled up
It's
so many
not
times,
worth
being
it.
like,
Right,
I could play it now. I could.
So what do you guys think then? Paying that, what was it? An extra
It was
Okay,
$50, I think.
50.
Yeah.
But there was a different version, wasn't there? That was down to $29.
That's
Well,
like
that'll
the
be the
normal
regular.
version. Yep.
Yeah.
So what do you think paying
Most of
paying
the
that
time,
extra money just for 4 days?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I would say I'm against it. I think it's kind of a crude business move to do. But as far as this one goes, I think it was completely fair because, first off, $50 is $10 less than a normal game. You get it 4 days early, and to top it off, you got the 2 pieces of DLC and the first game year 1 edition
Yes,
with
you
it.
did, yeah.
So it's not like you were just getting 4 days access. Here you go, have a good 4 days.
Yeah.
It was, you got stuff with it, and it was still $10 less than a normal new release. So.
The only
Yep.
thing I wish that they did was gave Game Pass people the option to spend $20 to like upgrade essentially to that premium version, because for the $20 I would have paid that for the upcoming
that
DLC,
Yeah.
for the 4-day early access. I wish that was a thing, but I'm not going to go out if I'm already getting it from Game Pass. It just felt silly to go out and spend $50, even though I was already getting the game either way.
That's my thing. I mean, I'm like, I want to play it now, but I'm like, I would be hating myself, and I'd be like, you're an idiot if I did. So
Right. I think maybe if my weekend this weekend wasn't as busy, it might have been tougher. But I knew I wasn't going to have a ton of time to game this weekend anyways. So I was like, all right.
Same. If I wasn't working this weekend,
exactly 72 hours free, it might have been a different story.
totally.
So do you reckon that's the new model for the standout titles for Game Pass?
For Microsoft, it is. They've clearly been on that train for a while. I think that'll be all their first party moving forward. Would be that they did it with Gears, they did it with Forza. Sea of Thieves actually didn't, but Sea of Thieves if I mean I love Sea of Thieves, but it shouldn't have been $60.
No, not by
And
a long shot.
yeah, I think Sea of Thieves is the only one recently they haven't done that with. But then again, that's all about cosmetics, so there's no real way, I guess, to.
But then you say about Sea of Thieves being $60, but the DLC's free.
That's it does have
So
that.
put
going
that
for
long
it.
term.
Yeah,
Put it long term. You're actually sounds so stupid. You're saving money.
Well, that's why I actually like games as a service. It gets a lot of hate, but I like it because for me, it gives me the option of spending how much I want to spend on a game. And then I know, like, the reason that works, in my opinion, is the future of gaming is because, and we'll get into this later with Call of Duty, but you're not segmenting your player base by not having paid DLC. You're not having to get online and be like, oh, hey, let's all do this on community play. Oh, who has this map pack? Well, you better go buy it quick because, that's in the rotation or, nothing like that, So everybody's always going to be in the same player pool if it's all free. So that's why I think that's the smart way to go moving forward. But, yeah, I still don't think it should have been $60. But the games as a service, as far as that goes, I like the entire idea of that.
I agree. That's especially for Sea of Thieves. I think this is going to work out. And like, if you look at Sea of Thieves in a year or two, it's gonna be mind blowing that you only paid $60 and didn't pay for any DLC or anything when that game
Totally
is just, I don't know, going full speed. Like when it has everything.
We're a week away from them adding a megalodon shark. So I mean, like, clearly they've got some ideas for that game that they're going with. So
and you don't have to spend any money on it. So
yeah, it's free to be terrified of the water. Yeah.
All right, we good?
I think we're good.
Everybody good?
That's all.
Then
Good.
let's get into some news.
All right. Pretty brief this week. It kind of gets like this before E3, unless you get the random leaks. News just starts to dry up because everybody's trying to hold everything in for the pressers. But there's a few things that are dropping. Big one that happened this previous week was the big Black Ops 4 reveal. Excuse me. And they basically confirmed what a lot of rumors had been, in that there is no single-player campaign. But then they basically kind of spelled out, okay, there's no single player, but here's what we are doing, and here's why, it's worth it.
So how do you feel, I mean, just quickly, with Call of Duty not having a campaign, what's everybody's stance on that? Did you play them before, or do you not even care about Call of Duty?
You go, Chocolate.
I haven't played for years Call of Duty.
Okay, so Chocolate,
So that's a no on Chocolate.
You're done, so just slide out of the way here.
Okay.
Well,
see ya.
Like, part of me was in Discord the other day talking to Moose, and like I was defending the idea of like it needs to have single player like for $60 and stuff. But like, if I'm honest with myself, I haven't played and beat a single player campaign in Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4, the first real popular one.
See, so I'm completely different in that respect then, because like that's always the first thing I've done with my, like, I buy the games every year, and it's because it's a game that a lot of my not hardcore gamer friends play. So it's like they'll buy Call of Duty every year, and that's really all they'll play. So like I always grab it just to play with them and whatnot. But one thing I always make sure to do is play through the campaigns, and like they're definitely hit or miss. Some of them are trash, some of them are surprisingly good. Like
Yeah.
Infinite Warfare, I think, was the most recent one. It was like super space based. You had spaceships and stuff. But that campaign, I think, was way better than most Call of Duty campaigns. But a lot of people are going to miss that because, I mean, their statistics show people aren't playing their campaigns. So maybe it's not worth it to work on something like that.
Sorry, it's always been a multiplayer based game, though, hasn't it?
100%.
Since 4, absolutely 100%. I mean, and you don't even, they've got their statistics. It's like you said, they're looking at the data, and I mean, we can even look at Xbox Live achievement rarity and tell right away how many people finished the game, and it's not a lot. Like, it's still, from almost every Call of Duty campaign, I think if you beat the game and the final achievement is almost always been a rare achievement.
That sounds definitely right.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking at that data alone, you're like, yeah, I get it. It sounds bad on paper, but I get it.
So how do you feel about the $60 then, like you were alluding to?
So at first, when I first heard it and the rumors, and I'm just like, that's going to be a hard sell. I think you got to knock it down a little. But then when I watched the conference they had and they explained what all's in it, it was easier to swallow slightly. I still think that's going to be an interesting. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how well this does. I guess we say that every year about Call of Duty, like is it trending down or not? But I'm really super interested to see how this does with everything they're setting up and keeping it at a $60 price tag.
What's always really funny is that even when Call of Duty is, in quotations, trending down, it still blows
20
every
million
other
plus,
game out of
yeah.
the water.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'd say at this point, Grand Theft Auto is probably the only outselling all-time
Yeah,
game, probably.
I would assume so.
So yeah, step up your game, Call of Duty, while you're not first. But we'll see how it goes. And kind of getting back into this right here. So they had their conference where they kind of, laid out like, hey, there's no single player, but here's what we're doing because there's no single player. Here's what we're promoting. And just to kind of read from this is from GamingIntel.com, who kind of had a summation of a lot of the. They had a summation of the conference, and they also kind of had something that wasn't disclosed at the conference, and that is, it is being confirmed, and this makes me more okay with the $60 price tag. It has been confirmed that there is no season pass for the multiplayer, period. However, there will be a zombie season pass for the zombie mode specifically. So it sounds like they're finally getting on board with the Halo Gears Games as a Service theme of free DLCs. Your player base is never segmented, and everybody's always going to play together as far as multiplayer goes.
So now the DLC is going to be more, if you're into zombies, here's some of this, but as far as the actual competitive multiplayer stuff, like you're just getting free maps every month, or like a free map every month, something like that?
The way they laid it out in this leaked document is that essentially every month you would get 2 new maps that would be added to the pool. And they also said, like, Call of Duty's had loot boxes for a while now, so, definitely expect that. It's, they're not doing this out of the kindness of their heart. It's Activision, but there will be new cosmetics and things like that added as well every month, new guns, new maps. So, even if you're that person that's like, I don't want to spend a dime, you pay $60, you get this game, and you're constantly getting free maps every month, free guns, that's a pretty good deal on paper. So
it's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
That's what...
Well, and...
I was going to say,
no, you go ahead, Rizzy.
like you were saying, the whole games as a service thing, like, I don't understand why people have hate for it. Like,
I don't either.
For the people that don't, literally, like you said, if you don't want to spend any money on it, you don't need to, and you're still going to get an influx of free content throughout the game's lifespan until they stop supporting it. Like, what's the hate about that? And for the people that want to spend money, you have I'm assuming there's going to be loot crates for cosmetic stuff in this one. So, silly people.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where, like, we live in a time where it is cheaper than ever to play tons of video games, and it's classic internet age we live in. Everybody's outraged about everything. So, it's one of those things to where if people can find something they hate, they will. The main thing about this, though, I think is great, is that it's what we've said previously, is like the problem that you have with DLCs before in these year-long multiplayer games is that you have DLC packs come out, and your player base slowly gets more and more and more segmented. It's my biggest problem with Battlefield still to this day, is I wish they would go to a similar model, because, they started Premium Friends, all that stuff, but like every DLC pack, you were slowly segmenting your player base. So I think it's a great idea, and I'm actually glad with the direction they're going with all this. And just to dive into the story a little bit more, from this website kind of explaining the leaked document they got about the season or no season pass, according to sources, there will be a Zombies DLC season pass, which will act similar to a normal season pass, but will instead only contain maps from zombie modes. Whether this means there will be more zombie maps per DLC release, or if it will be sold for the same price as the standard pass, we don't know. And then they go on to say, basically, as for multiplayer goes, including, which we kind of glossed over this, but they're introducing Battle Royale to Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. They haven't.
Yeah, FYI.
Didn't they show a video for it? But it was kind of like, they're calling it Blackout or something,
yes,
right?
Correct. Yes.
That should be interesting. It'll be interesting playing such a highly polished version of Battle Royale on a console. I mean, I guess
totally agree.
Fortnite's running 60 FPS finally, so
yeah, Fortnite would definitely fall into that. I will say this though, I never want to get excited for Call of Duty, and I've probably been out on Call of Duty since maybe Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 2. I don't know, but this is the first time in a long time I'm like, okay, they're going in a new direction, and this stuff all sounds pretty cool. And I legitimately think this has the chance to be, who knows what will ever replace Fortnite. It's so huge, but I think this has the chance to be the biggest battle royale if it's done correctly. Because
for sure, you got the player base there already, at least.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, you got the player base. The guns all feel good. It's going to depend a lot on the map, how many players, and they talked a lot about vehicles in that mode, so that's going to be interesting. We've never had a battle royale. I mean, all we've really got with vehicles is PUBG, and it's all transport vehicles.
And they run like garbage. They drive like
garbage. Also, they run like shit. So they talked about attack helicopters and tanks and stuff. That's going to be interesting to see how they balance that.
Can you imagine having like kill streaks in a battle royale game? Like you're on a 10 kill streak, here's your attack helicopter.
Well, that's the question too. That's going to be interesting to see how that's
just as you make the circle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god. Yeah, the last circle is just known as like the kill streak circle. Everybody's popping their kill streaks like
get 25 kills and you just nuke the whole map.
Yes. Like, I'm not going to win. You guys, you're going down with me.
Just reminds me of Fortnite now. The quicker you build your tower, you win.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to save up those kill streaks. The most useless kill streak, UAV, pop it at the beginning of the game. Oh, there's 100 dots everywhere. Great. I'm glad I used that.
Yay. UAVs would have to be like a 30 kill streak. Can you imagine having a UAV in the final like 5 people or 10 people? Like,
it's going to be interesting to see what all they do with that mode. Because will there be kill streaks? Will there be vehicles you get in? Now that there's attack vehicles, how is that balanced? Like, does everybody just parachute towards the tank factory at the beginning of the game because you want to get in a tank? Like, right. How's that going to work? So. We'll see.
Do you think we'll be seeing more of that at E3 as far as just more Call of Duty details? There's no way they're not at E3, but
I'd say we definitely get a trailer at the PlayStation conference, and I'm assuming more information is going to... I would think that they're going to have it playable at E3, that game mode, but, it comes out October 12th? Yeah, because it's the first year it's not come out early November, so...
Yeah, we're getting Call of Duty nice and early this year.
Yeah, well, we all know why, too.
Yep.
Rhymes with Dedention, so... I would hope it's playable at E3, and if it is, I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of news from that, if it is. So
I might jump into Call of Duty this year.
Do it. Everybody should. No, that's not a fair blanket
No
statement.
map packs. No map packs. You're never going to have to worry about 6 months down the road if you can play with your friends, so why not?
I would say
I haven't got any, it's okay.
If you've been off Call of Duty for a long time, like you guys have, maybe this is the one to hop back into then.
For me, it's definitely, that's the case for me, for sure. I've not been in the last 3 or 4, and I'm actually, unless they say something just totally out of left field that sounds dumb, I'm definitely in this one. So
good deal.
Yeah. Moving on in the news, we've got a kind of an interesting, I don't know if you want to say story, but interesting take on a video game mechanic. The upcoming single-player story game Vampire, I guess
it's
pronounced, or is it Vampire?
I think it's called... Oh, I guess I didn't think of Vampire. It just looks like vampire to me, just spelled stupid.
Okay, Vampire. I think that's probably what it is. The upcoming single-player story game Vampire only has 1 save slot per playthrough. So you get 1 and done. If you die, you go back to that one. You don't have any auto saves, no... Bethesda, let me save 10 times in case the game breaks moments. So what do you guys think about that as far as, it's a game heavily based on choices you make and with no save scumming. What do you guys feel about that as far as the idea?
You can go, Chocolate.
Well, after my little bit about Halo Wars 2, no, I need my save files.
Would you say you're pro save scum, Chocolate?
I dabble. Pro, maybe not, but it's a great idea, and for the hardcore gamer or the hardcore person that wants to be in this, brilliant. For myself, it's not something I'd pick up unless I hear some rave reviews about it. Mm-hmm. It would drive me potty.
Yeah.
Or constantly worrying that you didn't make the right choice or somebody dies. Like, what if I had saved him?
I suppose with choices, I'm not too bad. I either go all good or all evil. So
Right.
I'm not too fussed by
Do you
that.
ever play? Have you ever played any of the Telltale games or anything like that, Chocolate?
Yeah.
So like, how do you
Yeah.
feel? Do you ever go back? Like those are games where I never go back and like, oh, I made a bad decision. Let me restart. It's a
Oh no. That one, yeah, I just plow through it because I think if you go back, you kind of half are in the story.
right. So I think
Actually,
this
that-
is.
that-
I think of this the same way. I guess for
That's a
me.
That's a really good point,
Yeah.
actually, because that basically is the one-to-one equivalent is the Telltale games, and I'm like you, I don't actually go back and replay them. So
As far as save scumming goes for me, I always used to be against it until I played XCOM 2, and then
same.
I was like, nope, you need to. There's no way I'm not doing this like over and over and over. I've never like loaded up the same save file so many times as in XCOM 2. Like
Oh.
that was horrible.
XCOM Enemy Unknown came out on 360 back in the day. You know, you level up a guy through 50 or like through like 20 plus hours. You start one mission, make one move, and he gets sniped and killed. I'm like, yeah, we're reloading that. Yeah, we're not going with that. We're gonna reload.
We'll have better
So-
RNG next game. Yeah, he won't crit. He won't crit next time.
Yeah. Yeah, he won't kill your highly leveled guy that you're counting on to be there to make the final push.
The guy that you've had for 18 hours and you've leveled him up to be the backpack of the team, just carrying everyone, and he died in one shot. Crazy.
I love XCOM, but man, those games are brutal.
Yeah, 99% chance to hit. I missed. Well, all right.
Yeah, the gun is sticking in his mouth. I missed, I guess. Like,
The other thing with when I saw the one save slot thing, I was thinking that they were doing some Metal Gear Survive stuff where they were gonna like charge you $10 for
Oh.
another save slot or something.
gosh, puke, right? I know.
When I
Jeez,
heard
Metal Gear
that,
Survive.
like that's like my all-time low in gaming as far as decisions made by developers. Like, you can't get much more
Konami.
scummy than that.
God.
I'm just going to say with Call of Duty, it's amazing. 10 years ago, developers were just taking as much money off you as they could. And
Totally.
then Call of Duty have turned around and done this, here's the free DLC, essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But Metal Gear Solid will go, well, no, actually, do you fancy paying for $10 for some blue hair?
Yep, I sure do.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't be
$20 for
surprised.
some, Doc Martin shoes.
Yeah, if I wouldn't be surprised if somebody does like a post-mortem on Metal Gear Survive and like 10 months from now it's like, hey, if you want to pay some money, you can just see the end credits.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
who cares?
That's
Like, just pay us, please.
as much hate as that. I played maybe like 10 hours of that. I rented it.
Yeah.
For as much hate as that game got, it was actually pretty, as far as the survival game goes, it was pretty decent.
I mean, they had a good game to build off of. It looked like Metal Gear 5, just more stripped story,
I think
which I mean, like,
that was the thing.
you
It
know.
was like it had the mechanics, like the mechanics were down. It was Metal Gear
Yeah.
5, but a survival mode of it. So like, it was pretty good. But a lot of bullshit happening around that
just-
game.
just what happened when Konami got both their hands around it.
Yep.
So, so yeah, so that's actually, any of you guys plan on picking up that vampire game? Anybody looked at it, interested by
I'll
it?
be there. I've got a hard time turning down good story based games, so I'm
Yeah,
sure I'll
same
be there.
I need to have a look first.
I will
Plus, I
say,
need to get rid of all my Telltale games.
I do
yeah,
have
there
a
you
lot
go.
of those to catch up on still.
I have a ton. Every time I look at it, I'm so cynical. Like, I'm not even a big achievement guy, but when I look at a Telltale game, I'm just like, well, that would be an easy 1,000 achievement points. Maybe I should play it. Like, I don't even give a shit about it, but
Just sit there, tap,
Yeah,
tap,
just
tap,
see
left,
him pop.
tap,
Yeah.
tap, up, down, left, tap, tap.
A.
yeah, seriously.
Done.
Or go the silent protagonist run. Never say anything to anybody.
Set your controller down and just be done
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, just going to work. Leave it running,
Yep.
honey.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I think that actually comes out early June, so that's actually not too far off. Let's see. Last bit of, or actually no, next story this week, we have Randy Pitchford's back in the news. Everybody's favorite studio head is come out and point blank on Twitter addressed a fan saying, quote unquote, no Borderlands 3 at E3 2018. Two questions. Do you believe anything that comes out of Randy Pitchford's mouth? And two, will there be Borderlands 3 at E3?
No Borderlands 3D3, and no.
I'm on the same train with that, yeah.
It's it's also weird because they never officially announced Borderlands 3. So, which actually leads me right into a question that Shine wrote in. He wanted to know, do you think it's a good move or a bad move for a company to announce a delay on a game they haven't even announced yet? Which is what I was just answering. And no. What? In what world is that a good thing? Like, that's insane.
But we're talking about it.
That's true.
You're not wrong, but like at some point, the whole any news is good news or bad news is good news. That whole theory is like it's true, but
it depends if it drops E3 this year.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, because like if it
dropped.
comes out this year, how's it not at E3? Almost in a way, unless because 2K's not doing their own press conference, so I would assume if it was going to be this year, they would announce at E3, but who knows, I mean, Square Enix has their own press conference this year. Why not, right?
Drunken tweet. No, not there.
It's 100% what happened. Let's go with that. Confirmed. Pitchford drunk texting middle of the night. Drunk tweeting.
I just noticed. Yeah, this was 3 a.m. Sorry, guys. Should not take this with any credibility.
Tweet has since been deleted.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I don't think anybody doubts that there will be a Borderlands 3. The fact that Randy Pitchford has super casually just been in interviews and said, the work we've done on Borderlands 3, and I almost just imagine what the interviewer was like in that interview, being like, I'm sorry, what?
Wait, go back to that last part.
You said what? Has that been announced? Yeah, so it's one of those things where he's just so casually talked about it as if it's a known quantity, which. Yeah, I guess it is, but at the same time, it is weird to have a guy out there acting super casual about the sequel that's not been announced, and everybody's just like, okay, so when's it coming? There's a Borderlands 3. What? Can you tell me anything about it? And it's weird. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just weird.
It's a game where, like, just once it's out, sure, I'll play it, but until then, anything that I just mute Randy Pitchford for the next few months. I think.
Yeah, this is also the guy that brought us Aliens Colonial Marines, so like let's all remember that.
Yeah.
Like he's done a lot of good things with like Borderlands and BioShock, but also, he's not got a spotless record. So, Borderlands 3 might be coming out this year, might not. We'll see. I'm sure Randy Pitchford will drunk text more or drunk tweet more and text. I got my sources. Okay. Moving on. So let's see. Leaked Forza Horizon 4 concept art. It shows Hong Kong, actually. Might be going to Hong Kong this year. It was rumored for a while it might be Japan. Now we're actually seeing concept art for Hong Kong. What do you guys think about that? Did you play Forza Horizon 3? Do you like the series? What are your thoughts?
Go, Risky.
Forza, I don't like racing games until I played Forza Horizon 3. The mainline Forza series isn't for me. Like the simulator racing, I don't find fun at all. But there was something about Forza Horizon 3 and how wide open it is. It was like an open world car game, and I was totally down with that. So I'm definitely pumped for Forza 4 or Forza Horizon 4. And I think Hong Kong's a good setting. I'm just wondering where your big like open areas are, because when I think Hong Kong, I just think like.
All right.
Congested.
Yeah, exactly. Congested.
City,
not a lot of, not a lot of big open roads, big open spaces to just cruise around in. So, it could be interesting. It'll definitely be like playing this game at night with all the lights from like Hong Kong.
Say HDR.
With HDR, like it's gonna blow your mind. But is the racing actually gonna be good there? I don't know. It'll be interesting. How about you, Chocolate?
Again, I'm not a big racing fan. I haven't jumped into any of the Forzas, but this game, it looks amazing. It won't drag me in because I can't race to save my life.
That's if you ever find Forza Forza Horizon 3 should just land in Game Pass. It's not there, is it?
It's not. But
if that ever hits, you should give it a shot.
Yeah. On that note, this will be though.
Oh right.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah, everybody forgets that, but yeah, this will be day and date.
So there you go, Chocolate. You need to at least.
You already own it. Yeah,
it's a coming. Yeah. So I'll give it a shot. But it does look as you're saying, with the lights.
From the one screenshot of, yeah.
Oh, it looks unreal. Looks unreal.
And like I said,
Gives me
I'm not a big racing guy at all, just like you. But
Right.
there was something about Horizon 3 and how open it was. And obviously the driving's incredible. That's why people are there. So if you're going to play a racing game with good driving and good driving mechanics, that's your game for sure.
That's it.
I will say I was a lot like Risky. I couldn't give a crap about any racing game ever, except maybe like the Burnout series back in the day, which that goes to my point. But like until Forza Horizon 3, and then I'm like, man, this is really freaking fun. And I think it was because open world, like a lot of stuff to do, a lot of weird. I mean, like they had Hot Wheels DLC. You know, obviously the game doesn't take itself too seriously,
Right.
And I think that's what got me, because Forza, you know, Gran Turismo games, you're racing on a track, you go to a menu, you're back on a track, you go to a menu, you're back on a track. That's not going to keep me, you
Nope.
know. Lap times, getting them down by seconds, that's not my thing. But Forza Horizon was enough of an open world game that had racing in it. I'll put it to you this way, like think of a mix between Burnout Paradise and a Forza Motorsport game. That's basically what Forza Horizon is. Like, it's still got solid racing mechanics, but it's open world and it doesn't take itself seriously.
Yep.
Which I think is pretty cool. So, like, yeah, I'm all about this. Forza Horizon 3 is what got me into that series, and it's on Game Pass, so yeah, I'll definitely play this.
I think the last racing game I really enjoyed before that was probably that Rush 2049 game on N64. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, man,
There
yeah.
were certain levels with just like jumps and like loops.
I hadn't thought of
and
that
stuff.
game in forever.
So good. Well, at least I remember it
Oh,
being
it
so
was
good.
Burnout.
It's probably trash, but
Generally, the way the 64 nostalgia works these days, or you go back and it looks like utter shit.
GoldenEye
but,
was
you know,
so fun. GoldenEye
Somebody-
so bad.
Somebody had to break us into the 3D polygon era. It's just so happened they had to be the martyr. So,
Yep.
but yeah, rip N64. I'm just gonna leave those golden memories there alone. But as far as the city goes, like the way you look at Forza Horizon 3, I'm not too worried because they somehow managed to fit Australia or a good third of Australia into a mini map. So clearly they're not going for geographical
Realism.
integrity. Yeah. So I got a feeling it's going to be part of the map's going to be Hong Kong. Then you're going to have outskirts. If I had to guess, I wouldn't be even shocked if the Great Wall of China is somehow fitted.
Oh, if I can,
you know, to
if I can
this.
put my Lamborghini up on top of the Great Wall, I'm there. Day one.
You know, there's going to be a race along it or on it, beside it, or something.
For
you
sure.
know, so.
It's
Yeah.
just wide enough to
Oh,
fit
wow.
one car, so your starting position is just gonna be your ending position. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Can't wait. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that is. I'm like you. I think it's going to be an eye catcher for sure, and I can't wait to see. Also, like I trust Playground Games with
100%.
Forza Horizon. They clearly know what they're doing, so I have no doubt it'll be good. And you own it day one if you have Game Pass. So.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it for the news this week. Like I said, it's going to be kind of light till we get past E3, but that's what we got so far.
All right, cool. Well, next up then, our final little thing here is a contest that's going on, and I'm gonna let Chocolate go ahead and give you guys the deets on that.
Right. You're going to have to listen very carefully because this is going to get confusing.
It's not that confusing.
Give him a second. Just
Please,
wait.
please don't make this more complicated than it needs to be.
Just wait. Word 4, gone. Mind blown. Right. So, over the next 4 episodes, we're going to be dropping one word which will turn into a phrase. That phrase, you need to, at the end of the 4th show, need to email us for your chance to win a game. Everyone okay with that
So far, so good.
Makes sense.
Good. So, we'll randomly throw these in at each portion of the show. They should hopefully be an audio cue, which will be now.
Warning, incoming missile.
Yeah,
That's what you need to listen for.
we're not gonna make you decipher like the Zodiac Killer's algorithm on how to figure out the word. It'll be straightforward.
Yeah. It'll be fairly straightforward. It will get easier and easier as each week goes on. So, the word this week is O. O-H.
There's no way to do
Oh.
that with this like acting straight faced.
No, there's
It's
not.
funny.
And I thought about doing it a bit camp, a bit manly. I wasn't too sure, so I just went with a O.
But if you think of the whole phrase, that's not how I would start your sentence. Thrones.
Also that.
It's all good.
It depends what type of movie genre you're watching.
Fair enough.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So after the 4th episode, and you have your foreword, you have your phrase, you're just going to email us at cagpodcast@gmail.com. cagpodcast@gmail.com.
Just to let you know, when you do email us, just because there's a new law over in the UK, we're not going to be sending you anything. You're not opting in. You're not opting out. All you're doing is going for this
Yep.
competition.
Thank you for
Makes
disclosing
sense.
that. Smart.
Yeah.
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 It's only because I've just all of a sudden read a load of shit about it.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Insane.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for episode 1. Do you guys want to talk about or plug some stuff that's going on with you, where we can find you, what you'll be playing, anything like that? Chocolate, you're up.
I'm up. Oh no, the pressure. Right. I am Chocolate Bear. You can find me on Twitter as Chocolate Bear 80. You can also find my gamer tag as Chocolate Bear 80, and you'll also find me on Twitch TV as Chocolate Bear 80. More than welcome to jump in the stream. Doc, what about you?
You can pretty much find me everywhere at Doc H1X1, Twitter, Twitch, Mixer, Xbox Live, everything. Yep.
And you can find me at Risky the Kid literally everywhere at this point. So do that. I also stream with Chocolate. We're part of the 16-ounce stream team. So we're out there streaming a bunch. So come check us out. I'm on Mixer. Chocolate's on Twitch. But yeah. Also, the 16-ounce Discord. We have a link to that in the description. So if you want to come chat with us, chat with a bunch of other people from the community, do that. If you want to get in on the Game Pass Game Club, that's a great place to do it. Everyone's pretty active there. So if you want to chat games, that's where you should be.
Come join us.
I just pulled up the cover art again on Discord for the podcast.
I'm sorry. Now that you mentioned the cover art, I feel like we have to use it for this episode. Are we okay with that? Just for episode
so
1?
Good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm just going to have to make sure... Anyway, no, don't worry about that. It could be off camera. Off air.
Alrighty. Well, everybody out there, thanks for tuning in to episode 1 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We hope to see you next week for episode 2.
Peace, guys.
See you
Take
guys.
care.